What's up, y'all? It is Mo back with another video. Welcome to Illumination. Today, I'm going to talk about goal setting and creating our own definitions of success. That is something that I have been struggling with, or let's say that's something that I've been challenging myself to redefine over the past, let's say 3 years. Something changed once I hit 30. A lot of things changed once I turned 30. But one thing that absolutely did change was, or that opened up for me, was figuring out what is success. Because according to society, according to my parents who, as my mom would say, scuffled to give us a good education and get us good jobs, I was successful. I had a master's degree. I was in a steady 9-to-5 job. I was making good money. I was living on my own. But I didn't feel successful. And it wasn't just from oh, I just can't see myself. Oh, you know how sometimes, you just feel a little down about yourself, or you're not able to see yourself clearly. Like, no, I was able to look and see that, like, oh yes, based on the markers or based on the role models that I had been given, I am successful. But I don't feel it. It doesn't feel real to me. And I had honestly spent so much time working. I spent so much time climbing up the corporate ladder. I spent so much time and money investing in my education and going to get a master's degree that, I mean, I do kind of use it now for my freelance work, but getting a master's degree that I really didn't want, like, there was nothing that lit up in me about it. It was just like, oh, everyone that I know who went to college and has a job, you just kind of, the next thing to do is to go to grad school unless you're getting married or have a baby, and neither one of those things were like on my plate. So I just decided to go to grad school. And I will say I am grateful for the grad school experience because it introduced me to more creative people and people who thought differently than I did, from people who had different experiences than I did. And it created enough discomfort in my life where I was sitting in these classes like, why am I here? I don't really want to do this. And then when I started looking at the jobs that would become available to me, I was like, I don't really want to do any of this. Why don't I want this? And that vision that had been created for me of like this like badass boss woman sitting in her floor to ceiling window office overlooking this great city, I was like, I don't really want that anymore. But that is what I was taught to believe was successful. So do I not want to be successful? So anyway, so I've been really working on unpacking what success is for me. And I'm still figuring it out. Part of it, obviously, and I mean, this isn't really necessarily about being successful, but it's really just about being able to take care of yourself, is of course creating a lifestyle where I'm not stressed about money and making sure the money is coming to me and I'm able to receive it by doing work that truly makes me happy, that truly speaks to the woman that I am in this current moment of my life. And of course, being able just to like take care of myself and provide for myself and ensure that I'm able to thrive in my life and that I'm not just, working or making money to like have the things that I need, but I'm also able to have the things that I want to, a lot of the time, because I believe that we deserve that, especially Black women, we deserve that. So we have sacrificed enough, So when I'm looking at success and as I'm building out this next chapter of my life where I'm really just taking more risks and really tapping into other versions of myself and trying on different personas of myself that I never would have thought that I could be, I'm really thinking about like, okay, so what is successful to me? And honestly, whenever I see myself happy and like at peace and like feeling just grateful to be alive and feeling like, yes, like this is me, this is it, I've made it. It has nothing to do with a career. It's really just like me, like out in nature, sitting on the grass, feeling the sun on my skin, and realizing that, like, oh, just like sitting in a moment of complete gratitude and a knowing that I have everything that I need, that I'm living purposefully, that I'm living with intention, and that I have a life of ease and rest and play. I have spent so many years striving, like trying to get the good grades, trying to get into a good college, trying to get that good job, trying to get that good promotion, trying to get into that grad school. I have spent so many years striving and chasing after things, and I'm done doing that. And it's a hard thing for my mind to accept because I'm in a space now where I feel like my heart is truly aligned with what I want to do. Like, I truly do want to be creative. I am creative. I want to act and I want to express myself, and I want to take all of these emotions that I feel so deeply and use them as a gift to create and tell amazing stories. But I do not have it in me anymore to chase after anything. I don't have it in me anymore to prove my worth to anyone. And I'm sure that I'm not alone in that, because I know that so much of like society and so much of like getting to the top, or just even again surviving, comes down to striving and trying and hustling and grinding. And I'm not here for it. I'm truly not. So I am trying to reconcile, how do I create the life that I want, but also not live in this situation where I'm like striving and hustling and like really like just working so hard for it, because I don't believe in hard work anymore. I don't. I really believe that as a society, and especially as Black women, we have bought into this idea of like our value comes from how much work that we do or how much we produce, and like, and I don't, my ancestors have done enough of that. Like, I am done. I'm done. And my value is going to come from me inherently being who I am, from me breathing Mo air every day. That's just where I'm at. And this next year, or however, this just next phase of my life, I won't put a time on it. I'll be able to see exactly what fruit I bear, like living and operating under that new value system. And I'm excited to be able to see what fruit I bear and be able to show that and like see, like show proof, like, see, there is another way. There is another way. It doesn't always have to be like working so hard and striving so hard. Cause I don't believe in it. We weren't put on this earth to do that. That's personally what I believe. We were put on this earth to like eat some good juicy fruit and breathe some clean air and just like, revel in the beauty of the universe that was created for us, and to take care of it, of course, too. Now that I'm in this place of like knowing what I truly believe in, knowing what I value, it's all about figuring out how to create those things, to bring those things into my life without doing the hard work and grinding, doing it a different way that doesn't have to require hustle and all of that. And I will say that it's kind of a mind, it kind of F's with your mind a little bit, because you have been told that there is one way to get these things. No matter which lane you choose, whether you're a doctor or influencer or you're a writer, you've been told that it's all about like hustling and grinding and like putting in the hours. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're doing more than 8 hours. You're working like 12, 14-hour days. If you're an artist, you're doing that too. But I think, well, I won't speak. I know for me, when I'm doing like 14-hour days, acting or creating, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's 5 minutes of my time. But anyway, figuring out how to create this life that I want, but in a way that aligns with what I believe in and who I am and what I honestly believe that I need, that my body needs right now, and that my mind needs right now, is just rest and ease and doing things in my own time, in my own way, and going with my own flow and honoring the sanctity of that, because I do think that we come into this world with our own like instincts and impulses and beliefs and ways that we go about things, and it is, I believe that it's disrespectful and somewhat blasphemous to step away from that part of ourselves, to lock that part of ourselves away in order to pretend to be something else or to do something in the way that we've seen it done before. There's something that's blasphemous about that for me. So now that I've been able to unpack a lot of the habits that I adopted and beliefs that I've adopted, it's like, okay, I have to figure out how to create this dream life of mine, but do it the way that Mo would do it. And it can be triggering, of course, because we're on social media, or you have friends in our friend circles, and our friends are like going about it like they're doing it. They are hustling. They are like team no sleep. Like, and to be honest, whenever, sometimes when I see those people, I'm like, I start to feel a little less than. I start to feel like, oh, maybe I don't really deserve this because I'm not working hard enough for it. That is a lie. That is a lie. Like, we inherently deserve things. We are told that we don't. We are told that we have to work hard, and we have to come to this place of like pseudo perfection in order to receive amazing things. And I personally don't believe that. I don't believe that anymore. And I don't care how fantastical it may seem. Like I said, I am taking this next phase of my life to prove that the new beliefs that I've adopted can actually manifest in a real way. So yeah, I inherently deserve to be financially stable. I inherently deserve to be wealthy. I inherently deserve to have my needs met. I inherently deserve to have the creative life and the life of freedom and ease that I want. And I don't have to sacrifice my health and well-being and my mental space in order to do that. I don't have to subscribe to this ideal of spending majority of my hours of my life on this earth, or days, working and and stressing myself out. So it's a process of like remembering it. And that's something that I also want to remind us about beliefs, is that sometimes as you're like adopting these new ones and you truly do believe in them, life will have a way of like hitting those sensitive spots and like making you question, like, is what you believe real? Do you really believe this? And that's okay. That's okay. Because again, even as I unpack all of these old beliefs that I had, they're still a part of my programming. They're still a part of that old version of myself. And to be honest, like, she was running the show for a long time. So of course she's a little bit stronger. Of course she's gonna come and pick up, like, put up a fight whenever I try to show her a new way. Let that be. Don't feel any shame about that. Don't feel any guilt about that. Let her be. As long as that new part of you, that new seed of yourself that you've planted, that knows that there's another way to do it, that knows, like, in your gut, in your soul, that there is another way to do it, and that you are right about your instincts, as long as she comes back up and is like, no, boo, no, we're gonna try it this way. I know that this hurts. I know this seems crazy, but we're gonna try it this way. I want you to feel all of the joy and gratitude and pride that at least that person, that voice, that part of yourself came back to remind you of what it is that you're doing and what it is that we believe now. And at some point it will become second nature, but it isn't any less potent or powerful if it's not second nature right now. As long as you are being intentional and thoughtful and like using your time and imagination and feeling to sustain the new beliefs that you have, in action as well, as long as you're like putting all of those new beliefs into action as well, that's what matters. It's not about the default setup. It's about the 2.0 and the 3.0 and doing the intentional work and practice of putting that into motion. So yeah, that's where it was. One of these days I'm going to have like notes or whatever, and just like make it, because I want to make sure that everyone's able to walk away with like tangible things. But I just really, this was on my spirit this morning, and I was like, let me just like put this out there, because as I'm just looking at, you know, all the things that I want to accomplish, I really want to do it a different way, and I want to show that it can be done a different way. So yeah, stay tuned.